days, 3 days since we've caught these crappie. I'm going to show you how to make my blackening seasoning. I always make my own. I don't measure it out. I eyeball everything, and you'll get to know that about me. But it's mostly black pepper, the blackening seasoning. So you want to get a good amount in there. Let that be sort of like your base seasoning in it. Always put a little bit of salt in there, and I put the kosher salt from the grinder in there. It's a little bit bigger flake. You don't want a ton of that in there because you're going to be using Tony's Chatcheries as well. That's going to sort of give you that red color to the blackening seasoning. And my wife's here, so you could see her later. She's making her grits tonight. And you put a little garlic powder in there. That'll help with the saltiness too. And the main thing for color is the paprika, and it sort of gives a smoky kind of taste to it as well. But we're going for like that Cajun blackening type taste for that. So you want a good bit of paprika in there. It doesn't have a really strong taste to it, but it's in there for color mostly. And let me see if I can get me a spoon real quick. Mix that in, make sure it all looks pretty even. So when you get through blackening or doing your blackening seasoning, it should look something to that effect. There should be like an orangish red tint to the seasoning. So make sure you mix it all in really even like that. Here we have our fillets of crappie. We left them pretty wide, pretty big, so that we can blacken them all in one piece. So what you always want to do is you always want to rinse your crappie after they've been sitting in that bowl for a couple days. Rinse it off. And you want to lay them out on a sheet with a paper towel, let them drip. You want to get as dry as possible before you start oiling them and seasoning them. What you got here? Just real quick, what you got going on with these grits? They look cheesy.
I'm making cheese grits. I just made normal grits out of the generic Jim Dandy grits bag, just like it says. Then I added butter, melted that down. I added some cheddar cheese and some leftover like taco blend cheese that we had. And then I'm just adding a little bit more pepper jack cheese because we like spice. So you just kind of add cheese in from the heart till it feels right to you, till they're as cheesy as you want. And melt that down. Don't let it burn, so you kind of have to watch it because once you put the cheese in, it'll burn.
What about these turnip greens over here? What you got going on in them?
Those are just canned turnip greens because I don't have the time to wash fresh turnip greens because you know you're supposed to wash those like 7 times and I don't have time for that. So you can use the canned turnip greens, the seasoned or unseasoned kind. I think these were seasoned. And then I just add in about probably like a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of diced onion, and then some diced jalapenos, and really that's just your preference on how spicy you want it. We do things pretty spicy in this house, so I added a good bit of those. And I added like a splash of the jalapeno juice because they're pickled jalapenos. And I added probably like a cup of pickle juice. So if you don't like pickled things, you probably won't like this recipe. But then that's all I really add in there. I just cook it down until it's, you know, the onions and the jalapenos are kind of soft, so the onions are translucent. And then you can kind of season a taste, which I wouldn't add any salt until you taste it since we've added a bunch of pickled things. But you can add anything after that you like. So that's really it. They're easy.
Well, it looks like you've got it under control.
I think so.
I think we're fixing to do the crappie. What do you think?
Yeah, you better get that started. I'm almost done.
Well, they're over here. We're fixing to get on it. What you're looking for when you get through seasoning them, they should be heavily seasoned. Notice when I was putting the blackening seasoning together, I didn't put a lot of salt. They're not going to be over salty, I promise. So just trust me. All right, guys. So normally you would add butter, but for this, we're just going to add some olive oil. Our pan's already smoking, so I think it's going to be plenty hot enough for these fish. Hopefully it's not too hot. I'm questioning myself right now, but we're fixing to see. Okay. Lay one of these big fillets down. See how it does. That's what you want right there.
You need something to put them on when you get home.
Yep. Maybe get me one of these pans down here. You don't want to overload your pan. That's probably plenty. It's not going to take these very long.
If you're going to do that, at least get the stuff off the spoon.
Do what?
I said if you're going to eat the grits, at least get the stuff off the spoon. So
There ain't nothing on that spoon, girl. Look at that.
I'm talking about this spoon.
Oh.
It's hot, so.
Y'all were starving.
Just about done over here. That don't sound like a...
Oh yeah. It's these big fillets that wanna fall apart on me. They're coloring up just nice. Right, those middle ones are probably ready to get out of there. Don't they look like the prettiest red fish you've ever seen? Or does that not? I should use proper English. Guys, Emma tried to tell me today that grits was not a vegetable. She said it's a starch. I said, what is grits made from? I said, it's corn.
Hey, but
I was like, okay, but if you eat corn, is it not a vegetable?
But your argument was to say that it was a vegetable, so it made it healthy.
No, I did not at all say that grits were healthy. I said that
We were having a whole
grits.
conversation about how we were going to make this meal healthy, and then we decided
No, we
to eat
didn't.
grits, and they're not healthy.
I could just eat the fish and
But then you
grits.
said they're
What you're trying to
a
think is
vegetable.
amazing.
What?
Do what?
These don't have very much nutritional value either.
So, YOLO. Am I right? What? They hot?
Made them a touch spicy.
Uh-oh.
You trying?
Yeah, I want to try. I want to try everything. As you can see, we're using our fine china tonight.
I may have just gotten a good seasoning.
Yeah, those got a good little pop to them. Oh my goodness!
I know. Oh well.
She's trying to kill me.
Probably just added too many jalapenos.
She lied to me.
So you definitely probably are not going to need a black label.
Tell you when the crappie's still white. All right, the moment of truth.
Stop.
Does she like the blackened crappie with the cheese grits?
We already know I like it.
Yeah, but we're doing it for them, Emma. Oh my goodness. Not the triple stack. Out of 10 on the crappie scale.
That's a 10.
It's a 10.
It's really hot.
You heard it here, folks.